I wanted to talk something about which I know as staying true to the script and storyboard, but also add like a little bit of our own magic into it. It's basically a director show, and the main guy is the director who handles everybody. But when we try to break it down, like really down, there are a lot of people who are involved in the making of the shot or any film or whatever. If the director is a visionary, no doubt we're gonna have a pretty awesome script with a pretty detailed storyboard. Everything laid in front of us. That's basically the director's part. But as an animator, we have certain creative freedom. Like for instance, once we are allotted the sequence-based shots, we have the ability to choose what kind of performance we're going to give to the character based pretty closely to the script. Like for instance, we have two shots where it's a fight sequence, and first shot would end up in a half a fight, and then it would continue in the second part of it. The director would definitely give his own notes on how the fight should end. Fight should like cut off in the first shot, and then hook up should match with the second shot. But obviously the whole performance part is yours, so you kind of know like, okay, this would be super exciting if I put the sword in front or put the guy in back, like whatever, however the fight is. So those are all the creative freedom that you have while you're working on a shot. So that kind of helps in creating an even better shot than the director would have visioned it himself, because it's basically an amalgamation of two creative people at one time, and it kind of adds a little bit more. It's like you're walking in the director's path right behind him and adding a little bit of light in his way. It's like you're making a dish, but the recipe is obviously not yours. You're just making it, and people are loving it because you made it pretty awesome. That doesn't make the whole thing yours. You just have that creative freedom to add something of your own, that magic, that little bit of that 10% that you wanted to add to that shot. So that's what I'm saying. So this is really important to keep in mind, that whatever performance shot or whatever dynamic shot you're working on, make sure you use that creative freedom and add a little bit to it. Don't just copy it from the reference, or don't just use the storyboard as the final thing. Just try to add a little bit of yourself. That would also enhance the a shot to a pretty awesome level. So, yep. If any of that made sense. Alright, back to the shot. Now, I'm kinda trying to get that second part of the jump here, because he basically, the first strike is done right now, so he cannot stop. He's in a momentum, he's in a speed momentum, and he can only halt like gradually. He cannot just certainly stop right there. So he has to do that first hit and then second hit, and then he'll just walk on somehow, gradually, not like instantly. So basically I'm trying to get that pose right here. I'm doing it here pretty quick. The mouse clicks probably are pretty fast for some of the people, but if you have any questions, do let me know about it and message me about it so that I can, explain it to you later on. You can just go ahead and mention the timing of the video and then ask me like, what is this? What did you do in this part of the video? I totally didn't understand. Can you please explain it a little bit? so then I can go ahead and explain it to you. So here we are, just after the first strike, and he's kind of, there is basically no anticipation for the second one, and the anticipation is actually the first strike, if you know what I mean. I mean, the first hit he does is basically the anticipation for the second hit, second jump. Sorry. So it's a continuous thing. He doesn't hit and stop. He just hits and then jumps for the second hit, and then he walks away. So that's basically what I'm thinking right now. It's a pretty fast movement that's gonna be in the final play blast. Alright, we need this arc in the other way because we had that arc in the opposite direction in the first jump. So we need this arc in the other way because he's going to be hitting the person to his left right now. Just clearing all the poses here as much as I can in this time frame. Well, I do definitely have a time frame here. The workplace deadlines are pretty flexible sometimes, depending on the shot or depending on the clientele. But there are good times and there are also bad times. Okay, that looks, I think I need to change this part a little bit. Kind of thinking what to do. Like this is the first hit, and the second hit should be in a curve that I think this is not working. Alright, let me go ahead and check it out. Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and add the hang time right now, and I'll worry about the pose a bit later when I come back to it. Right now, I'll just focus on creating the basic poses that I need for the whole basic blocking stage here. Okay, that kind of looks okay. The speed is still slow though. We have to fix that. This is how the spear is going to hit him. Like a round hit, pretty round hit. And it's not going to be the spear swing like the first one we had, like here. But second time it's going to be different. It's just going to be, he's going to be holding the spear with his hand, both his hand on one side of the spear, and the pointy end would definitely be on the other side. So basically it's the transition that I'm drawing here to make you guys understand how he's going to transfer the spear from one hand to another.